Are you truly your most creative under pressure, or are you just hooked on chaos? And before you run away, because I promise you that I was tempted to run away as I was recording this episode, you better stay here with me, because if I have to talk about it, then you have to listen to it. Hey squirrels, welcome to ADHD, where ADHD isn't some clinical diagnosis, it's just life. I'm AV, your always honest tour guide through this beautiful mess. Over here, we're not about fixing yourself. We're about figuring out how to actually enjoy your life as you are. So grab a snack and let's go. And for another gut punch, welcome. The question of the day is, are you truly your most creative under pressure, or are you just hooked on chaos? And before you run away, because I promise you that I was tempted to run away as I was recording this episode, you better stay here with me, because if I have to talk about it, then you have to listen to it. Okay? You still here? Good. This is a rough one because, we are deadline junkies. As ADHDers, we play a constant, dangerous game of last minute brilliance. But honestly, we need to stop relying on that panic as our motivator. It doesn't actually serve us. I am a procrastinator. I'm a self-admitted procrastinator. Hello, my name is AV, and I'm a procrastinator. Hi, AV. Honestly, procrastinating used to feel like my superpower because I was praised for it so often. I was able to come up with things at the last second. I was able to pull fantastical feats out of seemingly thin air. I was everybody's go-to person. No matter what needed to happen, I was going to make it happen. And man, it felt good to be able to solve problems that nobody else could solve. But it didn't take into consideration what it was doing to me. Today's episode, we're going to uncover and talk about why we chase last-minute pressure. We're going to talk about the psychological and neurological roots of this pattern, especially for the ADHD brain. In layman's terms, if you want to learn more about the psychology and the neurology, please go do specific research. I am not the best source for that. And we're going to talk, of course, about how to break the cycle and actually get stuff done. So, let's be brave. Let's look ourselves in the mirror. We can do it. We can do it together. If you need a snack, go get a snack. If you need a drink, go get a drink. I'm going to go get a drink, actually, because I didn't have coffee yet today. So, as always, first we need to figure out why we are like this and why deadlines feel like fuel, even when they're actually not necessarily serving us. So, ADHD brains are dopamine seekers. Dopamine is that feel-good chemical, and we seek it out because regular stuff doesn't give us a dopamine hit in the way that it does the neurotypical brain. For a neurotypical person, creating a list, making your list, checking it twice, checking it off, gives you that little feeling of, job well done. It doesn't do it for us ADHDers. But urgency gives us an artificial hit. Now we're up against something that is unfeasible, that is harder, and we get that little dopamine hit when we're able to accomplish something up against the clock. Because boredom for us is painful. Boredom equals pain, but panic is focus. So we're going to choose panic because it's going to get me the results I want every single time. There's also the pressure, right? The pressure or panic brings clarity myth. So if I believe that panic equals focus, then I also believe that pressure equals clarity, right? Pressure brings me clarity. And we need this pressure to spark ideas, right? Actually, no. Because high stress narrows creative problem solving. That's a survival mode response. It's not flow state. So you think that you're sparking your most creative ideas, but actually, if you were in proper flow, you would probably be doing so much better. It's just that you're able to do well comparatively to other people because you have such a unique, masterful brain. But you would be doing even better if you allowed yourself to be in flow and not in panic state, not in survival mode. Like I spoke about before in my story, there's part of an identity of the high performer, right? Of the last minute high performer, because it's reinforced in school that I can always pull this off. And that story becomes part of our self-worth. If I can always pull it off, no matter how up against the clock I am, then maybe I also try and see how late I can push it and how much I can get done. And I reinforce time and time again that no matter what, no matter the circumstances, I'm able to get it done. So it becomes part of what makes me unique and what makes me amazing is that I'm able to get things done no matter the circumstance, right? Well, that contributes to the illusion of control. You're not really truly in control. If you waited until the last minute, you're telling yourself, I chose this timeline, right? Oh, I work better under pressure anyways, so I always wait until the last minute. I chose this timeline, but not really. Yes, of course, you chose it by not doing anything up until that point, but that choice is reactive and it's not intentional, which keeps you in a survival state and not in flow state, which is where we want to be. There's a hidden cost of adrenaline-produced productivity. And it's actually not that hidden because, it's right there in our face. The first thing is burnout. Every cycle chips away at your energy reserve. You have a finite amount of energy that you can expend on any given thing. And if you are waiting for adrenaline-produced productivity, it's going to use up more energy than slow and steady uses up. Your quality is suffering. You can do good work under pressure, but it's not going to be your best work. And there's something about that just because you know that you can do better. And you're handing something in and we each have our own speech of how it's good the way it is, done is better than perfect, and we can hand things in and we can just do it and get it done. But you know that if you had done it properly, it would have been better. And that's the other side of things that you just can't hide from. And honestly, that leads to constant anxiety. And there's an emotional roller coaster if you are not a reliable person. You damage trust with your clients. You damage trust with your team. You damage trust with yourself because you aren't keeping promises to yourself either. And I'm talking to myself just as much as I'm talking to anybody out there. I literally have this conversation with myself every single day. And that is some of the active work that I'm doing right now, is being able to keep promises to myself. And it's really, really difficult. But every time you rely on adrenaline to boost your productivity and you're producing that lower quality, burnout inducing, trust damaging work, you're also destroying consistency, which is the key to scaling anything long term. You have to commit to consistency above everything. And my kids like to laugh that I'm consistently inconsistent. It's true. And if you want to learn how to be more consistently consistent, then check out our podcast episodes about fake structure, because that's how we gamify our way out of being consistently inconsistent with fake structure. Check it out. So now we're all firmly convinced that we don't want panic to be our primary motivator anymore, right? Because we're tired of living in an anxiety-fueled life where we never know at any given moment if we're going to fail ourselves or not fail ourselves, if we're going to disappoint people, if we're going to overpromise. So what do? How do we stop using panic as our primary productivity tool? Because it works so freaking well. And not only does it work well, it pours into my image of who I am and my identity as a problem solver who can get it done no matter what the cost. Step number 1 is recognizing the pattern. Recognize it, name it, track it. Track your panic cycle. How often are you relying on adrenaline? And ask yourself, am I actually more creative or am I just more desperate? Okay? Build false deadlines that actually work. We build micro deadlines. We create accountability with these micro deadlines by having somebody else checking in that everything was accomplished. We break down large tasks into smaller tasks. Again, go see our episode on fake structure to learn a little bit more how to do that. And use dopamine positive rewards for early action. If you get things done earlier, reward yourself. Build in structure for you to reward yourself. Ask your team to track your approvals, right? I, for example, have a really hard time doing approvals on time. It takes me a long time. No good reason, just because I don't really do it and I just procrastinate because I'm annoying like that. We could have somebody tracking. When I do my approvals within 24 hours, maybe I get a little sticker. Maybe I have a reward chart. Maybe these things sound like infantile or they sound like for little kids, but they work. Create dopamine heavy rewards for yourself and give and reward yourself as you're doing micro tasks. The third step is to learn to stimulate to simulate urgency without crisis. ADHD brains thrive on urgency. They also thrive on other things, but they don't thrive on importance. They thrive on what I have to do right now, what is on fire. So use timers, use Pomodoros, use 90-minute sprints. Track how long your attention span seems to be. Track how long you're actually able to focus on something. Some people really like taking a couple of hours and doing, 90-minute or 120-minute blocks at a time, because that's how they focus well. Some people can focus for literally 20 minutes at a time. Whatever it is, choose your interval and go hard during that interval. Create the urgency for yourself with whatever it is that works for you. And that requires trial and error. Another way that we can simulate urgency without actually having a crisis is manufacturing external accountability. So set stakes, but don't be scared. Like, maybe you'll hit them, maybe you won't. It's okay. We're doing this as an experiment. Put small consequences in place, or commit publicly to something so that you have some external structure that is holding you accountable. Step 4 is to stack motivation, right? So you can do something that you don't like with something that you do like. Link your tasks with music or movement or a little treat. I can watch TV while I'm folding laundry. I can be on my meetings while I'm taking a walk. Stack your motivation to ensure the external accountability and the little dopamine treat. And then again, we thrive on urgency. So we're still manufacturing our own urgency. We can make work feel urgent through environment or through ritual, but not through panic, right? And create your own deadlines for your own self. Have a team that holds you accountable to them. Make them reinforce those deadlines for you. You shouldn't even necessarily know what your actual deadlines are. Somebody else can set those deadlines for you. But honestly, none of this matters unless we keep our promises to ourselves. So we have to practice pre-decision. We decide when and where we're going to do the task. I'm going to do this at 2 o'clock while I'm on a walk. I'm going to do this at my desk outside at 3 p.m. or right after lunch. Try and avoid open loops. So you intend on doing something today, turn the intention into a commitment by attaching a time and place to it, so that you are building in internal and external accountability, which keeps you more on track. So again, what are our 5 steps? How do we stop using panic as our primary productivity tool? Step 1, recognize the pattern. If you can't name it, you can't change it. Step 2 is build false deadlines that actually work and break your tasks down into micro commitments. Step number 3 is learning to simulate urgency. Create the urgency for yourself without waiting for the crisis. Step 4 is stack your motivation. Do things that you don't really like with stuff that you do like, and make work feel urgent with external accountability and fun with little treats. And step 5 is practicing pre-decision. Keep your promises to yourself. Decide when and where you're going to do a task. Attach that to your intention to turn it into a commitment. And here's where we're going to reframe a little bit, okay? If we've constantly told ourselves that our value is in last-minute problem solving and figuring it out when no one else can figure it out, we need to reframe that into consistency is my new edge. Calm is my new edge. I have all of these abilities, but ultimately, showing up at the last minute does not serve me anymore. High performers are consistent. They're not just fast under fire. Something that worked for us when we were kids and a part of us that got praised when we were kids isn't necessarily working for us anymore. We need to replace the thrill of the rush with pride in showing up early. It shifts our lives from a place that's on fire to a place of serenity. It changes us from constantly being out of control and running to being decision makers and action takers who are reliable and who are consistent. You aren't broken for needing pressure, but you don't have to live in survival mode. We need to generate the systems that create the pressure, the boundaries, without creating the panic. And you can train your brain to crave momentum, not just meltdowns. It's not just, oh my God, It's about to happen. No, let's keep moving. Let's keep going. Let's just keep pushing. It's not up, down, start, stop, start, stop. Oh my God, guys, it's the tortoise and the hare. But it's not slow and steady. It's consistent. We keep going. We move forward. No matter what, we move forward instead of starting and stopping and starting and stopping. Because the hare lost that race. And if he was always late to everything, he probably lost his friends too. So start with just one task this week. Complete it 48 hours early just to prove to yourself that you can. Just do it. Just try it. See what happens. I don't know. Maybe it'll work really, really well. Are you a deadline junkie? Let us know, because we need to know who we are. We have to help each other out here. Don't just leave me out here alone. And tell us, what is one trick that helps you break the cycle? And what is your main takeaway from today? You can always DM us. You can leave us comments. You can send us voice notes. Any way that you want to communicate, we want to listen. Thank you so much for being here with me and for being brave and looking yourself in the mirror, because sometimes it's hard. Today's episode was a hard one for me. I will see you next time, squirrels. Until then, don't forget to hydrate. I will. I'm surrounded by empty water bottles. And I'll see you next time. Bye.